Hello, thank you for listening to Salvation and Stuff. I am your host, Micah Coate. This podcast is a show where I trust that no matter where you find yourself in life, you will be engaged, encouraged, and enlightened towards a deeper faith in Jesus. And I really hope that you'll be able to join me as we start this podcast, especially in the first 5 episodes, which is a series entitled Foundational Faith. It's called Foundational Faith because it seems more and more that we all need a sure footing in navigating our lives and faith in what seems to really be an unsure and crumbling terrain. We need to see something clear and true in an ever-changing landscape. With culture changing faster and faster and intellectual and technological achievements abounding, we need direction. We need guidance. We need to place our feet upon a secure rock. We all need a foundational faith.
Engaging, encouraging, and enlightening.
So part of the eroding landscape of our time is because we live in a postmodern world. And if postmodernism itself wasn't confusing enough, because it really was meant to be purposefully obscured and given to subjectivism, some say that we live in a postmodern world. And I don't know exactly what to think of that. But regardless, as we navigate our life and especially faith, we need a North Star. And that can be hard to find in a postmodern world because everything has been turned upside down. But we still need something that remains, something bright, simple, and unchanging. And so when we look to God and consider the Christian faith, we can sometimes be let down by seeing the many shades of gray within Christian theology. And while those grays all have a place and can be appreciated, we need to cut through to the few essentials of black and white. Those essentials answer really basic but extremely important questions, like what does it mean to be a Christian? Who was Jesus and how are we saved? What is the Bible? How should we understand it? And is it even a reliable source of truth? In this 5-part series of Foundational Faith, we will seek to answer these basic fundamental questions that are clearly revealed in the scriptures and in the words of Jesus. In the first episode, we're going to examine our own personal theological houses. We're going to do some inspection on our own foundation and look at our foundation and compare that to what the Bible says our foundation should be. In the second episode, we're going to look at who Jesus, just who he claimed to be and why that's important or not important to us. In the third episode, we're going to look at what Jesus did his claims, did his acts, did his resurrection give credence to his claims. The fourth episode, we're going to look at the nature of salvation and what does it mean to be saved? How are we saved? And the nature of grace and the nature of faith. In the fifth and last episode of the series, we're going to look at what the Bible is and how we should understand it. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by life or at the complexity of what some have made Christianity to be, or you just simply don't know what to think about placing faith in Jesus, may I suggest that we simply humble ourselves and approach God as a child, needy and dependent, almost like a baby. And Peter, he wrote to the Christian church and he says, hey, we need to come to God like newborn babies. He says, like newborn babies, crave pure spiritual milk, so that by it you may grow up in your salvation. That's in 1 Peter chapter 2. And the pure spiritual milk that Peter refers to is the Word of God. It is the Bible. The connection between growing in our salvation from beginning to end and the essential teachings of Christianity in the Scriptures is clear. You cannot have one without the other. Concerning this divine yet very practical relationship between spiritual life and the Scriptures, C.H. Spurgeon, who was one of the most renowned preachers of all time, he wrote, quote, "It is true that in the Scriptures there are great mysteries, but the knowledge of these deep things is not essential to salvation, or else few of us would be saved. The things that are essential to salvation are so exceedingly simple that no child need sit down in despair of understanding the things which make for his peace. Christ crucified is not a riddle for sages, but a plain truth for plain people. True, it is meat for men, but it is also milk for babes." End quote. So whether you want milk or meat, or whether you consider yourself a Christian or not, no matter where you are in your journey of life, I hope that these first 5 episodes of Salvation and Stuff will be foundational to your faith. Or that you would just consider the possibility with me that a life built upon Jesus offers us a safer and sounder foundation than one that isn't. The series will be launched January 1st, and I'd be honored to have you listen or share it with someone who might be interested in this series. Maybe you can even subscribe and make Salvation and Stuff a small part of your new year. That's a New Year's resolution for champs. Thank you again for listening. If you're interested in more information, please go to salvationstuff.simplecast.com. That's salvationstuff.simplecast.com. If you like the show, please rate it and share it on whatever you listen and download your podcast on. Looking forward to next time.